Hi everybody, welcome to Stampers Club. I'm Karen Trelfa, and today we have some really cute, absolutely cute cards for you to make with me, or have me show you how to make them. I'm going to be using the Cutest Cow bundle, which is in the current mini catalog, January through April, and I did use some I didn't use any celebration stuff on this one actually, but just a reminder that celebration ends the end of the month. So you have about a week to get those last minute items in order to get those bonus freebies. So don't forget about that. And if you haven't registered for my retreat yet, that's coming up in April, now's a great time to go check that out. Also on my blog, www.stampersclub.com. And it's be a great way for you to learn some new things. I hold lots of classes, and there's tons and tons and tons and tons of make and takes and special little gifts all day long too. So let's get started on what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so we're going to be using the Cutest Cow stamp set, which I seem to have misplaced. There it is. And the Cutest Cow punch bundle, which I really forgot to get out. All right, let me grab that. Sorry about that, guys. So we're using the Cutest Cow stamp set. Isn't he just adorable? I mean, there's just such fun little sayings in this one. And this one is bundled with a punch. So we have a little build a cow punch. So that's what we're going to be using today. All right. And we're going to be doing these two cards and this really cute little envelope treat holder. You can put little candies in here. Be good for like little the little Mercies, or even, you know, this can be used as a gift card holder too. It's a little pocket envelope. But let's get started with what we're going to be doing today first. Okay, so we'll do the let's see. We're going to do okay, we're going to do this card first. I think that's the supplies I got out. Yes, it is. Okay. Right, so let's put that over there so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm using Pool Party cardstock, which is 8.5 by 11. So it's a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11. So it's 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm just going to fold that in half and give it a nice crisp score with my bone folder. Okay, I don't know, I always get that out of the way first, I guess, right? And then we'll get some pieces here that we're going to play with here and get part of this assembled. So I'm using some basic white that I embossed with the exposed brick embossing folder. I already have that done, so you guys don't have to watch me do that. And I have a piece of the Be Mine designer series paper. Now this, you know, you're going to think Valentine because it's kind of in a Valentine suite, but the flip sides of the majority of our designer papers are actually really nice for using for other things. So that's there. And then I've already pre-cut a strip of the Sweet Sorbet with the basic borders dies. Now these dies they're just that. They're meant for borders. So it comes with several dies that you can do for you just have these cute little edges that you can put on the edge, the zigzag, like a fancy scallopy zigzag, the scallops, and then just a V. So that's kind of nice for the edges of your cards. Lots of variety there. All right, so let me find my tape runner and we'll get this started. So first I'm going to add some tape just to the back of this. And I'm going to line it up on this Sweet Sorbet paper here. I'm going to end up trimming this. I cut this a little long because I want to have it kind of like end in that spot there. So I kind of average where that's at. Okay. And then I'm going to just get my scissors and trim that two ends off like that. That way it's the same size, but I kind of balanced where I put the V's at. Okay. And then that I'm going to add to the top of the Whisper white paper that is embossed. I'm going to go right over the top of it. Oh, this is actually a little long. I have to trim this too. There we go. Let me trim that. I guess I cut the other one a little long too. Sometimes I do that because I'm not really sure whether, when you measure things, if you're like on the line, before the line, after the line, then your stuff doesn't line up. So I try to leave those little pieces a little bit on the longer side. Oh, I gotta find what I did with my ribbon. That seems to have gone array also. I just had it out. If you'd have seen my desk, there it is. If you'd have seen my desk this morning, you would know why I'm like having to find stuff. I posted a picture of it this morning on my Facebook page. If you want to go take a look at it, it's actually quite the pile. And that was left over from yesterday. And then today I even made it even worse. All right, so I'm going to get some of the sweet sorbet ribbon. Just need a little piece of it here. And add some tape. Let me get my silicone mat so I don't get tape all over my stuff. This is a good way to add tape without having it all over your workspace. And we're going to lay that right along the edge there and tuck it around. Of course, I love hearing seeing your comments, so feel free to comment and let me know how you like this card. I'd also like to know if you'd like me to show you any other things, or if you have any questions about what I'm doing. So, gotta love comments. And of course, subscribe to my page. Do a thumbs up if you like the projects today. Those are always fun to get, right? I love seeing everybody's reactions to the designs that I come up with. All right, so this is just a cute little ribbon. Now, if you noticed, I did work right off the bolt. Sometimes I find that easier because I have a little more to hang on to. And I'm just going to make this while the ribbon's out. And I'm not going to put it on yet, but I do want to have it ready for my project. Garbage. All right, so then this I'm going to add to the top of some sweet sorbet cardstock. Now, when I post on my blog this weekend, we'll have these cards, and I'll have a cute little tutorial for you, so you'll be able to actually get the measurements and things like that. So be sure to go over on my blog at stampersclub.com, because I always been putting the instructions on the blog post once I do my live video. All right, we're going to put that right in the middle. All right, just like that. All right, let's get what we're going to be stamping. So I'm going to use some Memento black ink and these cute little sunflower stalks. Ooh, I don't want to do that yet. Nope, I don't want to do that one yet. I want to do the cow. So my little cow is laying down. It's just kind of like right about here. Okay, now I'm going to get a scrap paper and I'm going to stamp my cow on some scrap paper also. I'm going to go up a little bit here. Okay, because I'm going to show you a little masking tip here. So I'm going to stamp my cow, and I want to actually have those sunflowers go around the cow without going through the cow, because as you can see with this clear block, it would go right over the top of that cow, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my stamped image, and I'm going to actually get rid of the outline. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the outline, go around his tail a little bit here. And you don't have to do the whole thing because we're not going to stamp under it, but I do want to get the tail. Okay, so I'm just going to have this little bit of a masked piece right here, okay? And I'm going to lay that over the top inside that line of the stamped image that's on my finished piece. Then get my sunflowers and stamp those right over the top. Okay, so see how that would have gone right through my cow? What a mess there, right? But when I take that away, they're around the cow. So cute tip, little tip on how to mask quickly. You just use some scrap paper. All right, now I'm going to pull in some blends because I want to color this. So I'm going to use lemon lime twist for the leaves. And I'm going to just kind of do the bottom leaf in one color, the bottom half of the leaf in one color, I should say, in the dark. And this is one color. And then I'm going to use the light and blend that over a little bit. They're pretty tiny, so you're not going to get a lot of color variation in the little tiny stuff. But if I blend it over the line, then it kind of gives a little bit. It's probably hard to catch that on the camera. And this is also green leaf here. And this is green leaf there. Well, we got green leaf by his tail too. Every time you stamp it, it comes in a different spot, right? Then I'm going to use some crumb cake. And I'm going to do the, not that one. I need pecan. Pecan pie. I'm going to use the dark, just the dark. Whoa, thumbs. And I'm going to do just the center of the sunflower. So I want it kind of dark, but I didn't really want to do black because it would be kind of like mussy. And then I'll grab the crumb cake, and I'm using the crumb cake light. I want to use the, no, I'll use the crumb cake dark. And I just pulled that whole thing right out of my, oh, that's weird. That is very strange. Wow, whole barrel came out. So we're going to do a, whoa, no, I don't want to do that. That one is too dark. I'm going to just do that in the centers. Sorry. Use the light. And we're just going to go around and it'll pull the pecan out of the center and give me a little bit more color. I'm going to add a little bit of that back in there. Oops. Get me a little bit of that back in there. It's not quite enough on the project, but I want to pull that out so that it darkens up the center. Gives me a blend, but it doesn't give me a lot of color around. I want the center of the sunflower to remain somewhat darker. I'm going to try the light pecan and get that a little bit more. That's the nice thing about the blends is you can keep coming back in and making them darker or lighter as you want them to be. I want that dark, that center a little bit darker again. There we go. That looks better. And then I just grabbed the dark daffodil because again, these are so little that you're really not going to be able to blend. You can also use markers. I like the alcohol markers because they just seem to flow a little nicer. You don't end up having any lines because the standard marker, every time you go over the spot that you've done, it lays more ink on it. It just makes it darker. Where this blends it around, so you never see those, those paint lines almost. All right, got that, my little sunflowers. And then my crumb cake, I'm going to use the light crumb cake for, nope, not light. I'm going to use dark. Well, I'm going to use both. This keeps pulling apart. I don't understand that. I don't know if it's adhesive. There, now it's snapped in. It must have just been unsnapped. So I'm going to add some dark to some of the spots on my cow. I'm just going to give it an outline here. Yeah, give it an outline on my little cow spots. And then get my light and blend those together. When you work in small circles, it ends up bleeding the line, the sharp line that I drew around the edges. So it kind of bleeds that into the middle. Sometimes I use the light first, and sometimes I use the dark first, but it does bleed back and forth. And if you want them a little bit darker, all you got to do is add a little bit more shading to wherever you want the shading to be. And then do the same thing. So it darkens it up a little bit. Once you have the light going on there, the full color, the alcohol is what's happening is the alcohol is re-moistening the other color. That's good. He's pretty brown. All right. And then I have black. I thought I had black. I do. Which one is it? Oh, I threw it in the wrong bin. Would help if I had the right bin. Right. Okay, so I'm going to use some black to do his little hoofs. You can use a marker for this also. But I'm just going to color that in with the black like that. All right, and then on my scrap piece of paper, I'm going to stamp his face. Get that out of my way. Also in black. Okay. So my little cow face. And again, I'm going to use my light. I want to use this end. My light crumb cake, and I'm going to do like a little bit under his ear here, just to give it a little bit of definition. And I'm going to go ahead and go all down his forehead here and around on his face, on his snoot, little cow snoot. And grab that dark, because I want my dark to be a little bit more on this one here. I want a little bit more dark in there. Okay, get my light back out and bleed that in. So I want his little cap at the top of his head to be a little bit darker than the rest of his face here. It's a little darker, a little shadowing there. All right, and then we have our builder punch. And we're going to line that up. I usually do the punch upside down so that you can see it and punch it. Now, if you have arthritis in your hands and you can't squeeze these punches, by all means lay it down, line it up, and you can push on the top of it to punch it out also. Either way works. Let's get that lined up, or two-handed. That works too. All right. And we have his little face. So we're going to put the body onto a piece of sweet sorbet. Both of these were die cut out with the deckled circles, which are really, really fun because they give you just, it's not just, it gives you a little more character in there. I don't think I centered that very well. Let's try that again. One thing about tape is you can pull it off, right? A lot of times I use liquid glue because it gives me a chance to slide things around too. Okay, now dimensionals, gotta have them. They're mandatory in a craft room, to me anyway. So we're gonna just put one dimensional on the back of his head, and we're gonna stick it, there's a spot that's left open on the cow body to put his cute little head. And you can turn it, you know what I mean? You can make it, give him some character if you want to. I'm just going to give it right about there. Okay. And then I'm going to add dimensionals to the back. Don't need 4, I just need 3. It's a three-legged chair, right? I have to stand up. And then this is going to go kind of right in the middle. Okay. Then I have another deckled circle in Pool Party for my greeting. Stamp that right on there. One thing about clear stamps is you can see right through there, right? Normally I would stamp and then die cut, but this is What's Moo with You. I'm going to put a dimensional, I'm going to do it off to the side a little bit because it's just going to kind of get caught onto this piece here. What's Moo with You? That's a little crooked. And then, you know me and ribbon, it's one of my favorite things. Okay, we're just going to add a little bit of ribbon to the bottom here. Oh, I forgot to color his tail. That didn't work out very well, did it? We're going to give him some color on his tail here. Yeah, he needed that. All right, so one super quick What's Moo with You card. Isn't he cute? Love these guys. All right, so the second card, get my supplies up here on the table. Guess I don't need all those blends again. All right, so the next card, we are going to use some other products, of course. Same color combination though, right? All right, so again, Pool Party, a half a sheet. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. You can do it 4.25 by 11 and have your card open up this way, but this is a portrait card so that we're going to do here. So I wanted to do it this size. All right, and then I'm going to do this. I've already embossed this. Oh, there, kinda. Yep, you can kind of see the texture, the little crosshatch pattern. That is done with one of the basics 3D dies. There's 3 to a package. Those are only available to be viewed online, so they are under the online exclusive section when you shop online at stampinup.com, through my website there at stampersclub.com. But if you go to the category of online exclusives, you'll see those 3D embossing folders. They're called basics. Basics. Multiple, you get 3 in a package. So I'm going to do, this is like white on white. So I'm just adding a layer of white onto a layer of white. I don't know if my lighting can we turn this down a little bit? Oh, I thought I could. I'm wondering if it's the white's really shining. Let's see if I turn my light down a little bit, if that helps. Oh, a little bit. Get a little darker. So it's white on white. So it's kind of hard to tell that there's actually a different color there. But you'll see the pictures posted on my website there tomorrow or Sunday. Probably Sunday. All right, and then that's just going to go on there. And then again, I'm using some Sweet Sorbet and that same Be Mine paper, which is not necessarily Valentine. This one's just got little flowers on it. Get that, some tape on that. And we're going to just give this a nice little border on either side. Center that in. That's good. And then I'm going to add, this is the shapes called Nested Essentials, another online exclusive. Exclusive doesn't mean that you can't order it from me directly. It just means that that's the only place to view it. So it's almost like online extras. And Stampin' Up! Is coming out with new ones every couple months. So there's always new stuff being out there, being shown out there. So that's how I cut this with Sweet Sorbet. And I'm going to lay that on my card about like there. And then I'm going to come back with that layered element that I did. Oh, I have tape on my table. Make sure my flowers are upright. And I'm going to go right over the top of this. So this is kind of like a little bit of a woven effect that's going to happen here. Okay, that's going to go there. And then the nested piece, the next size smaller, we're going to stamp that. I'm going to start with the little milk jug. Okay. So there's the little milk jug. I'm going to put it right about there. And I'm going to stamp that also over here on my scrap paper. I just need the bottom of it because we're going to mask on that one also. And then I also need my widow Tweety bird. Isn't he cute? Now hopefully my head doesn't end up in the camera, so he might be flying in the air if I do this wrong. Oh no, look at that. He's perfectly sitting on that. I can't believe I actually got that to happen. Amazing. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my mask around the milk jug. And I'm going to just cut off the line. What happens if you don't cut off the line or you have a space. So that's the way of making it so that it actually abuts the image, because just that little ridge makes your stamp kind of like not touch in the whole spot. So this is just some little grass. So I'm going to lay this over the top here because I don't want my grass, and I think it's this direction. I don't want my grass to be on top of course I got to get my fingers out of the way. There. So now the grass is only on either side of my milk jug instead of on top of it. And this was Granny Apple Green. So I just did my grass in Granny Apple Green. All right, and then I need the Smoky Slate. Yep, Smoky Slate. And I'm going to color this in. I'm going to kind of start from the side that's got the lines. I have this is the dark. Yeah. And I'm going to kind of give me some dark right where the lines are already on the image. And then I'm going to go to my light, Smoky Slate, and blend that over. And you'll see that it's going to end up having like a shading down one side. And again, small circles or brush, angled strokes will make that happen. And then if I go here and spread that one out a little bit, you'll get like a little blotch going on there. This guy's really easy to color in, right? It's pretty simple. Grab my daffodil back from the last card. And I'm just going to use the dark again because this guy's so little. It would be really hard to, you could do it, but it's almost not worth it. All right, so we got that piece. And that I'm going to add dimensionals to that also. And it's a rectangle, so I need 4. All right, so that's going to go right over the top. See how this is kind of like woven between there? So it kind of goes in between, right? And then let's get some scrap paper out. And this time we're going to use the body. I got the wrong one out. That's not going to work. Let me get that stamp back out. I grabbed the wrong one. We have bodies that point in both directions, and I grabbed the wrong one. I want the one that, yeah, that's weird. I want this one. It's a little bit like you think it's going to stamp that way, but it's not. The images in there are just for lining them up and putting them away. They're backwards. All right, so I want my body, and I'm going to get a separate piece for my face. Oops, I don't have enough ink on that one. All right. And this one, I'm going to be using the black. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark black on here because I want it a little dark. And I'll do some here too. Now I'm going to use like 3 colors on this one. I'm going to add a little bit here. We're definitely going to do his hoofs. Makes him stand out a little bit. And then on his head, I'm going to add some up here. Okay. Then I'm going to get the dark smoky slate. Oh, I forgot a spot. Look at that. I forgot this cow spot. Remember the old Gateway computers that had the cow boxes? I wonder if they still do that. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark gray. And then the same thing here. And then I'm going to go to the light smoky slate. And this, I think I'm going to use the nub end to bleed all those colors down in. So you're going to end up with a definite shading happening here. So I'm using 3 colors. And the ink does not get back up into the marker, so you don't have to worry about transferring color. If you're using a pink and a green, your marker will remain pink if you're using it over green, and vice versa. So you don't have to worry about the ink transferring and getting it staining your tips. That does not happen. And I think I want a little more dark gray. A little more dark. I want these a little bit darker. I want these ones almost black. But I still want to have some shading. You can almost see the ink run across the paper. Okay, get those out of the way. And I need petal pink for his face. I'll start with the dark. And I'm going to start with the dark going over the nostrils and the mouth, and then come back with the light for the rest of it. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but there's some definition there that way. You almost got a shadow. Oh, and let me do his little ears. Let's give him some pink, the innies. A little pink on the inside of his ears. That's always good. All right, so go there. And then, let's see. Get my punch out and get his face out. I just saw some hearts go by. I don't know how to do the hearts. You'd think I would know that, right? But feel free to pass them out. All right, so then we got to get his body in here. So the punch only does the body in the one direction. That's why I had to switch the stamp. And we throw paper all over the place, right? Get that out of the way. This side of the table we're just not going to look at. All right, so then we're going to get a couple more dimensionals. And I'm just going to put them on the side, 1/2 of him. But I'm going to put 2 so he's stable. And we're going to get him kind of like, oh yay, about like that. And we'll get one on his face. And we're going to give him a little bit of a tilt on this one. Now this face he's winking. The other one it was not. So this there's multiple faces. So this one is just a straight up guy's just looking at you, right? And then this one we have a little wink going on because We're going to get a little sarcastic here. Oh, gosh, not in my house. That would never happen. Joke, joke. All right, so now basic black. You see, I'm just really, the only other color I used was Granny Apple Green for that grass. And then obviously we're using some markers. So get our greeting stamped on this little strip of paper here. Yep, that looks good. Okay. And I'm just gonna clip this a little sideways. Super easy way to edge the end of your banner going on here. Now this one I'm gonna need mini dimensionals. Get a couple of those on there. And I'm going to put this greeting just a little bit across on an angle. And in case you haven't read it yet, it says, milk it for all it's worth. Got it? Ha ha, pun. Wink, wink. Okay, so that's my second card. Hope you've enjoyed that one. All right, and then for that little bitty treat pad, the little treat box, let's see what we used on that one. All right, so we got some supplies here. So in the mini pocket envelope dies, there is this little piece here that creates this little envelope, right? So it's just a die cut to create the little envelope. And then there's some extra pieces, a little thing to make a bow, some extra embellishments or, little labeling pieces. I didn't use those. I just used this. This was in a previous catalog, but is now only featured online. So you have to kind of look under the die section. So it's still available. It's just not shown in a current catalog. So that happens sometimes too. All right, and that actually cut this little piece out here. So this actually already has the score lines in it. So I'm going to burnish those score lines all the way around. They have the score line already there. So I'm just going to get them a little sharper, and then one along the bottom. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to use liquid glue for this. You could use tear and tape, but I find that liquid glue is really easy. Let's get that folded over. And little goes a long way. I have the tip actually resting right against the paper so that I don't get out too much of it. Another way is to dot, 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 not a lot. Because I know some of you struggle with the liquid glue. That is my favorite though. Okay, and then we're just going to line up these edges. This stuff dries pretty quick. That's why I like it. You have a little bit of time to move things around if you're not quite happy with where it landed, but it does dry on the quicker side. So this is perfect for a little gift card, right? I think I have one here. I can show you how it fits in. Look at that. Starbucks, right? Who doesn't like Starbucks? Fits right in there. So you get a nice little gift card. That always works, right? So to decorate the front of this, I took more of that Be Mine paper again. So, this was, featured as a Valentine paper, but it doesn't need to be because this is just a honeycomb and flowers. So this, I'm going to use my one of my triple layer punches, and I'm going to create a banner. These are really easy because they slide right in. It fits right in the slot between here. There's like 3 different sizes, and then flip it around and do the same thing. Well, I didn't put it in straight. That works. All right, get rid of that punch. Make sure I did this the right size now too. It might be a little long. I think I'm going to cut it in half just to shorten it up a little bit. All right, because I don't really want it laying over that far. So the first one, let's tape this up here. I'm only going to put tape on the edge here that I cut. All right, so I want it to be, we're kind of like right in the middle here. But I only want it to stick off just a little bit. I don't want it to be too wide. And I think my paper was cut a little bit long. But that's easy to line up. You just kind of roll, whoops, duh. If you just line them right up, they kind of fold right in. So I'm just kind of shortening it up here. There we go. I like that. Was it even? Close? Not quite. I'm off on one side more than the other. I think that's too far out anyway. No, I guess it's not. It needs to be out further. Okay. And then this one here. There we go. And then the piece of the Be Mine paper, I'm going to get some dimensionals on that. That bee is just so stinking cute, isn't he? He deserves a heart. Somebody send him a heart. And then this was cut of this little detail on the edge, these little circles on the edge. Isn't that fun? So I used the new Everyday Details dies. I don't know, I've been using these in the last few of my videos. So these come in circles and rectangles, and then there's some other extra little elements in there too. So there's a couple of different dies in that one. Now for this one, we're going to use the parts and pieces here. Okay? We're going to use some vanilla paper and my black ink, and I'm going to stamp his horns. This is going to be a little boy. We're going to have a little boy. And on the petal pink, I'm going to stamp the nostrils and the mouth. And I think I need to do it in this direction. That's the way the punch. So I'm going to be using this punch, but I want to make sure that they work. So I'm pretty sure it needs to be in that direction. Yep. So I want to make sure, because it's depending on how you're going to put it in the punch, I want to make sure that that nostril, well, since I'm here, I might as well do it, right? So I want to make sure that that little piece there gets done. So we need that one, right? And then like his ears are right here, and I did them upside down. See, that's what I'm talking about. Let me get his horns back. I did them upside down. Let's go there. They're not going to fit in there in that direction. Now they'll line up. Sometimes you just have to, you know, have extra paper. All right, we need that piece. I have like little bits and pieces everywhere here, right? And then I want to use some pecan pie. And I want his eyes. Actually, I'm not going to punch. I'm going to punch first, because I want to be able to see where it's at. So I'm going to get his body. I'm going to do the whole punch and get all the pieces out. I don't need them all, but I'm going to get them all out. Come on, stop it. So I'm going to need his head and his body and his tail part. Well, I actually don't need the tail part, but here's his face. And yep, and let's get his eyes. That I have to bring this a little closer to me, sorry, because I can't quite see it in the glare of the lights. We're gonna aim. Oh yay, it worked. And then on the body, I'm going to stamp thank you that I lost. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. You know, what's going on there? And I want to put thank you on his body. Right? Because who doesn't like a treat or a gift card as a thank you? Right, so now we're going to assemble him. We're going to get his, I'm going to use liquid glue for this. We're going to get his little snout. You know what? I don't want to do that. I want to use a dimensional for that. But I don't want to use a dimensional for these. So I'm going to get a little bit of liquid glue on the top of his head here and get that laid down in his horns. You're gonna have a cute little boy cow. I guess that's a bull at that point, right? Not a cow. All right. And I'm going to use a dimensional to put his, not that, to put this on. Okay, so we're going to put his little snout down here and get it popped up so it looks good. And then his head, we're going to just add to the top corner here. Very cute. Then I need my punch back, and I want to get his tail, just the little piece of the tail, and the piece for his head, the top of his head. So I want to, actually I could have done 2 of those. I think it's the same shape. I'm going to get 2 of those. Maybe. Where did it go? Well, here's one. Where'd the other one go? Oh, it flew somewhere. We'll just do another one. Try to get it to stay together here. There we go. There we go. All right. So I want to add a little bit of glue to his tail. And this is crumb cake. I just want to have a different color there. So we'll add that right over the top of his tail. And then this one, I'm going to use a baby dimensional on. We're going to give him a hairdo. That's not really in the right spot. Tiny piece. Okay. And that's going to go right on the top of his head between his eyebrows. Get it in there right? Yeah, that looks good. And I'm going to get my black marker back out, maybe. Yep, the black one. And I'm going to draw him some hoofs on this. He just looks a little bit like he needs some. I'm going to just start right at the angle and just kind of go over and follow that same pattern that was on the stamped image where it was just a little bit of an angle. Just give him a little bit of hook, some feet. Give him some feet. All right, now this I'm also going to put on with dimensionals. Put one right there and one right there. And put him right on the front. We'll grab some of the nice checkered ribbon. Probably about a couple 9-inch pieces probably, or thereabouts. And I'm just going to use, I'm doing double layer because I want it to be, it's a 3D item. I want it to be super 3D. And again, my bows, I do bunny ears, 2 loops, and then I tie the 2 loops together. I have 4 loops here. See if I can get that through there. Right, there we go. And then I hold the center to pull my tails back, and again the other way. If I hold it with my pinkies like this, I can tighten it and do the same thing. That looks good. I just wanted like extra fluff. There we go. And let's cut the tails a little bit. That, and get a glue dot out. They are somewhere on my tail. Oh, I don't want to miss one. So there's one there. And we're just going to add a little bit of a bow. And voila! One cute little gift card holder or candy holder. You can slide a piece of candy in there too. Like a little, I don't know if a Ghirardelli will fit, but you know, the little Merci ones, the little thin ones, those will fit in there. So, a recap of what we did today. We had a cute What's Moo with You. milk it for all it's worth. And with our cute little Tweety bird, I love him, wink, wink. And then again, our little treat box holder. So thank you so much for joining me today. I loved sharing my projects with you. I'd love to hear how you liked them. Did you? Did you not? Did you want me to use different colors? Should I have used different colors? All of those things, fill them out in the comments. I will add ultimately the link to the blog post so that you can get the little tutorial, so that if you want to recreate that, you'll have all of the measurements. Those are always fun to have. Give me a couple days to get that published, but then you'll still be able to, if it's not down there yet, it'll be down there in a day or two, so that you can pop on over there and check it out. But there's definitely lots of tutorials and cutting guides already on my website, stampersclub.com. Feel free to run on over there and check it all out. Of course, you can also find me on Facebook, Stampers Club. That's all you got to look for. Or Karen Tralfa, that works too. But remember, celebration's about to end. There is a host code in the sidebar. So if you use the host code, I'll send you something little, maybe something big. I do random drawings sometimes and just do big stuff too. But I enjoyed my evening with you. I hope you enjoyed yours. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.